Right, let's go to McDiarmid Park, where it was St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. St Johnstone took an early lead through Ryan McGowan, scoring what I can only describe as a typical Ryan McGowan goal. And then Motherwell equalised in the first half through Theo Bair. Motherwell were the better team for the majority of this one, as admitted by both managers. And can already see some St Johnstone fans starting to get a bit vexed with Craig Levein.
I'm shocked that a man who's won fuck all in his career, a player and manager, might not actually be doing anything good for that club.
There's got to be loads of good Scottish football players and managers who haven't won anything, because if you've not played for Celtic or Rangers, chances are you're not going to win anything.
Maybe, but I don't really care. I just like to mention the fact that
Nothing to do with it. I just wanted to mention it.
Craig Levein has never touched silver.
Okay, Craig,
silver in his life.
You're an adult in the room, please.
John, please back us up here.
I think trophy dodger Levein has. I mean, I can understand why St Johnstone fans will be fed up watching them, and they were well by far the second best side in the second half of this game, but he will keep them up, and I think that is fundamentally from a position where I don't think anyone expected him to. Whether he'll be a long-term solution for St Johnstone,
whether he wants to be either, I think,
but probably, and then Andy Kirk will get the job and be terrible. But the point is, I can understand, because it's not fun to watch. They will grind just about enough points to get over the line.
Very attritional. After
what obviously Stephen McLean was that. Sorry, not Stephen McLean, Callum Davidson. That was what they didn't like about him, was that it was just so boring to watch. And then McLean was less boring and just terrible, like the team. and they looked absolutely doomed. Levein's come in, got some results. Yeah, it's fading a wee bit, but he'll probably get the points for them. But with Motherwell, it'll be a blow for them, because for a game for them to be on top for so long and not win, and they're really
one win in 18.
Yeah, they're just not winning games, and it's like, okay, I mean,
the recent run isn't that bad, because I think in their last, I wrote this down. Let me see it. Yeah, it's 1 win in 18, which is terrible, obviously, but only 3 defeats in 11. And when you're at the bottom, getting a point a game, generally all right. That keeps you up. And they've had some decent draws. They're like draws at Celtic, Hibs and St Mirren in that time as well. And they are, I think, to me it was a big result for Motherwell, because they beat Alloa last week. Who cares? Well done. And even then, it made a wee bit hard work of that. But it feels like a big result after losing Beereth, because he's not coming back. He's not Owen Beckinet. He's away to Sturm Graz. And even though it's only a draw, it's a draw away for home, and they're the better team. So it's a performance, kind of both performance and result, because you lose this game, and then it really starts to be panic stations. Do the club have enough to stay up? That's still a major question mark. I think that maybe the subs, sorry, the new signings. So Andy Halliday got decent write-up for his performance in Middle Park. Sam Nicholson made an impression coming on and looking very lively. Lennon Miller came on for his first league game since November 1st. He'll be big for them as well. So they're getting bits back, and they're adding bits that will make the team better overall. However, they've lost or sold 3 forwards in January. Now, 2 of them weren't any good, but it literally only leaves them with Theo Bair and Jonathan Abika at this point in time. They've not signed another striker yet, and time is running out. No, January 29th.
Is it some Slovenian or Slovakian guy or something who's the one that I've seen been linked? Some big, tall guy from somewhere.
Well, they need another big, tall guy with Abika and Bair on their side already, don't they?
But they will get someone in. But the closer you get to the deadline, the lower the chances of that person you get in being good.
Yes.
Would be the challenge, and they are. I think they've probably, as you say, with these players coming back, if they stay back, they've probably got just enough in that squad, but they will be starting to. Well, I just think like not winning when you're talking about that run of draws, and that's fine, but while you've still got that 1 in 18 thing, it's like even if you just win a game and you're like, oh, it's 2 wins, it's 2 wins. It's it starts being.
Well, it stops becoming a thing probably more than it.
Yeah.
And when you're got someone like Harry Payton missing 2 gilt-edged chances, really, you're just like at a certain point, I think they'll be fine, because they're just not as bad. Their bottom is significantly higher than Ross County and Livingston's, but we've seen it doesn't take actually that much. It's not beyond the will. You could see them slipping to 11th if this doesn't get arrested, and I think the key to that is, as you said, signing a striker.
To go back to the kind of earlier chat about Levein, so something that is like you say, yeah, he's St Johnstone fans aren't happy because of the style of football. I think it's more there is an element to that, and I did see them say that there doesn't seem to be any discernible game plan or style when they attack, and that was what I thought was the worst thing about Levein's Hearts teams. Is that in the latter stage, the first Hearts team that he had, it was very easy to tell what the plan of attack was. Get the ball up to mark the V's, and you've got strong runners. You've got either a quick forward alongside him, and like Andy Kirk, or you've got strong runners like Phil Stamp, Paul Hartley, running, kind of getting beyond, and they weren't a bad team to watch. They were direct, but they weren't a bad team to watch because of those players around them. And his second spell at Hearts, which was kind of hard to tell. I mean, Uche was there, but if he wasn't playing, it was like, what are we actually trying to do in this game? What's the attack? What's the plan?
The James Anderson cash to the SFA. Sorry, that was Chris Finn's long-standing joke, but hadn't come on at that point either. So,
what are you on about? What has this got to do with anything?
Oh no, it's just that there's a way of getting penalties. But it's shite. It's a very good point. I was like,
we didn't think we got many penalties, but anyway, I'm talking about St Johnstone. I was going to be nice to you today and not bring up the fact that one of the last times you were on a podcast where we kind of did a Premiership roundup, you were very smug about Hearts hiring Naismith and Hearts hiring Naismith and Hibs hiring Nick Montgomery. How'd that work out? Okay, right.
We're not got to conclusion yet. We're not got to conclusion. Let's see how it plays out.
Powder dry.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't realise the season finished on the 29th of January.
Okay, fair enough. Right, yeah, so what I was saying is that he is doing things like changing the team when they don't think there's any real need to. So they were quite, I mean, again, Aberdeen, how good are Aberdeen? That's the kind of caveat to throw in here. But they were quite impressive against Aberdeen after like the first half an hour. One thing he did was he changed the kind of shape of the team. They were playing a 3-4-3, changed it in a 3-5-2, and fans really liked the look of Sprangler, Smith and Phillips all starting in the midfield three together. They played what St Johnstone fans were saying, some of their most cohesive football of the entire season. And he doesn't stick with that. He changes it again. He changes it back to a 3-4-3. Max Kucheravi.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
comes in, starts on the left. He doesn't do anything really. And then instead of maybe going, okay, this isn't working, we're losing a grip of this game, we don't have a grip of this game, let me go back to midfield three. He brings on Connor Smith for Kucheravi. It still doesn't work out. And then he makes a very weird, so he brings on, he actually had gone 4-4-2 as well because he had, Liam Gordon was forced off in the first half. And you could probably see that the team wasn't working. But again, instead of going to the three at the back before, maybe he doesn't want to do it because he's losing a centre half, but there is options on the bench. Luke Robinson has played on the left of the three before, and he had Tony Gallagher on the bench, so he could have done that, and he could have just changed the team that way. But and then you get to later on in the game, so it's like 10 minutes to go, and Graham Carey comes off for Sprangler. So there's still one each at home against Motherwell. And you're not playing very well. Yeah, maybe that's why he was just kind of showed up like, oh, just let's get out of here by a point. But taking off so I could see that he would have started with what he did because he's maybe thinking, okay, well, that was Aberdeen. This is Motherwell. We're going to be expected to attack a bit more. And as I said when I done the podcast with Joel, I think the three of Sprangler, Smith and Phillips, I think it's a very good St Johnstone style midfield. The only problem is you're not going to get any goals out of any of them. So it's maybe a lack of goals in the team, and maybe that's why he's starting with Kucheravi, even though he scored a couple this season, but I don't know how many he's going to get either, but at least he's a more kind of on paper, in theory, a more creative player, a more dangerous player. But then at the end, he's taken off Carey, who's probably the one player most likely to score. And so yeah, I can see why St Johnstone fans are frustrated.
And it's Levein sometimes just doesn't seem to help himself in that regard. He clearly, I think it's clear he probably doesn't rate Sprangler. But, yeah,
it's certainly not as highly as St Johnstone fans do.
Yeah, but the fans do. And so does it really, in a team of beigeness, does it really impact you that much to appease the fans in that regard? Rather than slightly, but again, that's never been Levein's style.
This is a man who brought Ian Black on as a third division player for his Scotland debut for
at Easter Road.
Yeah, yes. I think Craig Levein, you talked about Naismith's kind of personality and how that impacts on him. Craig Levein's personality is not about making supporters happy. But I think he's a pretty good coach. I think he'll do fine. But